Hey guys, this is Mush, and I know it's been a long time since I've released a plugin, but yeah, here I am today. Today it's gonna be an achievement plugin, like this, like in games where you have a list of achievements, or you can also use this scene view. So yeah, it's like a title, the achievements title, the reward if you want to have a reward for the achievement, like for example money, item, weapon, armor, and a description. Okay, so basically it's highly customizable, so you can like decide, well, for this particular achievement I wanted to display the reward and the description and the name, or even the name, even if it's not unlocked. Like if you compare it to this one, for example, you don't know what's the reward and there's no description, it's only interrogation marks. So yeah, you can even decide I don't want people to know the name. So yeah, you can use icons for the image, or you can also use some sprites like this here. Yeah, you can also decide to change the view like this to this view. You can easily toggle by pressing Z. There's a completion bar. All of this is all customizable. Of course, it's going to be available. There's an option to make it accessible from the main menu, not my custom menu, but the default menu. So let me just show you. Wait. I think I've gained the achievements. Yeah. Let me just restart. What was it? F2? No. F4? No. F3? Well, let me just quit and let me just quit. I forgot the shortcut for to reset the game. Yeah, because I set some like easy achievements like play 5 seconds or walk 10 steps just for testing. So let's do a new game. So let's talk to this lady. She's gonna give us some achievements. So the thing is, it's gonna check for the condition of every achievements every time a map is loaded. So for example, now I should have 4 or 5 achievements unlocked. And when I'm gonna go to the next map, it's gonna show there's gonna be a pop-up window here saying these achievements. You've just gained these achievements. It's gonna be like this, and then it's gonna fade out, and it should fade out soon. There we go. And once you've unlocked an achievement, if you go back in the achievement menu, you can see it, and it's gonna draw everything normally like this. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So this was the short part, now it's the long part. Because it's highly versatile and you can highly customize everything, the description and everything. It was kind of a bit impossible to do through parameters normally. So what you need is to modify the code directly into the code. So yeah, well basically you don't need to go through the whole code. I've made it quite easier for you. It's like in the old VX times. So basically, if you're lost, just read the instructions for user here. So basically there's 2 sections you can modify. Well, first of all, it's the details of the list. Not of the list, what am I saying? The details of the scene. And other details like if you want it to be accessible from the main menu, stuff like this. And the second part is actually adding some achievements with the conditions to unlock them, the reward, and the icon or the sprite. So you can just copy paste this and go to the sections. So this is pretty straightforward here. There's an explanation for each setting. For example, decide whether or not you want to add the scene to the main menu. So I've set it to false, but you can add, like, this is if you want the achievement scene to only be accessible through a NPC or something like this. The pop-up window, the text in it, if you want to change the text. Remember, it said completed, 2 dots, and then the name of the achievement and the icon. You can change the text here. You can change the width of the pop-up window. The color of the remember the pop window had like a background. You can change the colors. It's a gradient color. So this is a RGBA system. Pretty easy. I don't think I need to explain it. This here, set the scene default view. Yeah, remember when I was in the achievement scene, there was like two kind of views. One with only the icon, and you could select the icon, and there was going to be the description in the box below, and there's also the view in which it's all shown like in rows. So yeah, one is for the view with the rows, and 2 is with the view only with the icons. You can also decide to only choose one of the 2 views and disable the toggle. Like, remember, I could toggle between each view by pressing Z. You can disable that. Title of the scene. This is the title at the top of the scene. When you were at the top, yeah, just at the top, and also the text and the main menu. Details scene description. Yeah, this is a description under the title and the scene. Okay, so when this is pretty important. When an achievement isn't unlocked, it's gonna choose another icon, because I couldn't make like draw the icon but only black. Maybe I could, but what is a pain in the ass? So anyway, I decided to just put another icon. So this is the index of the icon. You want to display when an achievement is not unlocked. So there wasn't anything good by default, so I just made one quickly. I think I'm gonna made it available for you guys. You could just download it and use it for free. So basically, it was I think I made it. It's this here. Yeah, if you want to use this, you can download it. I'm gonna have a link probably on my website, maybe on the YouTube video. Yeah, you can just download it and add it to your icon set. Yeah. What next? And now this is the text of the color of the text when an achievement is not unlocked. It's based on the Windows skin pixel. I'm just gonna show you. These here. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, you can change it. By default, I think it's good. Text for completion category naming. Yeah, that was the completion bar. The text on the bar. This is the 2 colors of the bar. It's a gradient again with the RGBA system. Logo size. Yeah, you remember the icon. This applies for the icon and the sprite. If you decide to use a sprite, I'm gonna show you how to use a sprite later. This is the size. So it's gonna be a square, of course. So it's gonna, like in this case, it's gonna be 96 by 96. That's because the default icon size, well, it's a square. It's 32 by 32. That's why I recommend using a number that's a factor of 32. So 64, 96, 128. It's just easier. It's better for scaling, especially in RPG Maker. But yeah, you can use any size you want. Show reward. Either you want this the achievement description to show the reward. Remember, there was reward 2 dots and then the item or question marks if you decide to hide it. So yeah, this is more for if you want to deactivate it to save a line, or if you just don't want achievements to give the players rewards. So yeah, you can deactivate it. So if you are not using rewards, I highly suggest setting it to false, because it's going to save you a line. Space is a real issue here. So yeah, the first line is always the achievement's name, and then there's reward, and then the description. So it's 3 lines. But if you decide to remove the reward, it's going to be 2 lines only the title and the description. So you can basically set the logo size to 64 4, which would be 2 lines. Text for reward. Yeah, this is just if you decide to use a reward. The text here, and if there's no there's no reward, you can decide to leave the text that says reward, but that would be kind of pointless. So yeah, the last variable is very important because it's the height factor. This is the number of lines you want each achievements to have. So basically, a line is 36 pixel. So you decide how many times you want to have 36 pixel per achievement. And okay, so if you decide to have a reward and also add a description, the minimum is 3 because you're going to need 1 line for the name, 1 line for the reward, and 1 line for the description. If you decide to remove the reward, you can go to 2 because there's going to be enough space for the name and the description. You can also leave it to 3 and have a 2-line description. So now we're going to jump into the achievements list and creating how to create achievements and all. Yeah, so this is where you create all the achievements. So you don't need to come back to this video each time. I think it's explained, everything is explained here, and I think it's pretty clear. Maybe it's not, I'm not sure, but for me it's pretty clear. I'm just gonna go through everything. So yeah, I'm gonna leave a model here. So basically you want the name and the icon. Also, if you want to use a sprite instead of an icon, well, you can't just skip the icon because there's gonna be a bug, but you can set it to like 0, which would be the icon, which is nothing. And this is if you want a sprite, you put the name of the sprite of the image file here. So remember, because this is the logo size is a very important value. The image, even if you use a sprite, it's going to be reduced to exactly 96 by 96 or whatever the value you've put here to the same value. So I recommend a square image which have the same amount of pixel and the width and the height. So yeah, this is the description of the achievement here, and then this is, I think it's the, where did I write it? Reward, and then the condition, and whether you want to hide the name, the reward, and the description if the achievement is not unlocked. So because I've set it to false, I don't want it to hide the name when it's not unlocked, but if I set those two to true, it's going to hide the reward and the description when the achievement is not unlocked. Okay, so these are very simple except the reward and the condition. So let me explain it to you. So basically the format is going to be, well, I'm just going to write it here. The format is going to be x value / y and z. So these are 3 important values, and you always need 3 values. So you always need 2 slashes, whatever they're called. And so you need 2 slashes and 3 values. If you don't have it, I'm not sure if it's gonna throw an error, but it's not gonna work properly, that's for sure. So each value has a meaning, of course. So let's go from the reward section. The first value is the type, the second is the index, and the last one is the amount. So the type, it's a number, a single digit number. So if you put 0, it's gonna be an item. It's gonna be an item. So database items. It's gonna return this here, items. If you use 1, it's for armors. So this here, all these items. And 2, it's gonna be for weapons. So yeah, this. 3 is if you want gold, the reward to be some gold. If you don't want to have a reward attached to the achievement, just put -1. So the second number is the index. So for example, if you put some items, so the first number would be 0. You want it's going to ask you which items. So you're going to go into items and you're going to put the index. So for example, if I want a blue potion, it's going to be index number 1. So you put 1 in the second number, like here in this example. This is pretty easy. If it's gold, just put 0. Even if you put another number, it's not going to change anything. But the thing is, you still need the second number. It's very important. The last number is the amount. So like in our example, 0, type 0 for items ID number 1, the blue potion, and the amount, let's put like a 3 in this example, so it's going to give you 3 blue potions. If you put 1 for armors and 5, it's going to return armor ID number 5 in the database, the amount of time of the last number. So in this example, 1. If the amount is also the amount of gold you're going to receive if you put gold. So 1,000 is going to receive 1,000 gold. So yeah, it's the same principle for conditions. So the first value, it's the type. The second value is value 1, and the last value is value 2. So if you decide, this is the condition for unlocking the achievement. So remember, it's going to check if the condition is fulfilled each time you load a map. Of course, if the achievement is already unlocked, it's not going to check it. So if you put 0 in the type, so the first number is 0, the type of condition, it's going to check if a switch is on or not. And the number of the switch is determined by value 1, I believe. Yeah, exactly. Which number is specified by value 1. So if I put, for example, here, this achievement, no, this one, 0, 10, 0. So this is basically going to check if the switch number 10 is on. And if it's on, it's going to unlock the achievement. Next, type 1. This is for variables, so game variables, of course. The previous one was game switches, of course. So variables, for example, this, so you need both values, value 1 and 2. So it's going to check if the variable number value 1 is equal to value number 2. So in this example, 1, 11, and 5, 1 is the type, so it knows it's going to compare a game variable to a number. So the second number is 11, so it's going to be game variables number 11, and it's going to check if it's equal to 5, the last value. So exactly in this example, 1 for the type, so if game variable number 3 is equal to 10. So if you use type 1, it's going to check if the game variable is equal, so even if it's superior, it's going to return false. Now, if you want to have a game variable which value is greater or equal than a number, it's type 2, which is exactly the same as type 1, but instead of equal to, it's greater or equal to. Type number 3 is for game time. This is pretty straightforward. It's the game. If you put type equal 3, it's going to check if the player played more than the amount of frames specified by value 1. So the second number here. So for example, 3,600, it's going to check if the play time is greater or equal than 3,600 frames, which is about 1 hour of playtime. So this is if you want an achievement which is based on the playtime. Of course, the last value has no importance here. The last one I did is type 4. So if you put 4, it's going to check if the player has as many steps as value 1, which is the second number. So for example, 4/1000/0 is if the player took 1,000 steps or more, it's going to return true. So for now, these are the only conditions I've programmed. Maybe in the future, I'm going to add more types of conditions, so more type of achievements, I suppose. If you guys have some achievements, some condition type you want me to program, just leave a message. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, these are the only 2 sections you want to modify. If you're lost in the code, just remember, go into instruction and copy those and just copy Control C, Control F. to find these. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for using my plugins, and I'll see you soon.